everybody. Welcome on in. It's Skuldsbane here. Crystal in real life. Everybody knows me as Skuldsbane. You'll figure it out. Welcome back to everybody who's coming back. Welcome in to everybody who is new here. This is going to be Flosstube number 4. It is the 26th of July, 2024. Welcome to about the end of the month. We survived. Yay! I am going to apologize now for the sound quality. The headset is not the way I prefer to actually do the recordings, but there is construction going on about that far away from my normal. It's on the camera there, and that's where the microphone is, and well, more than that. It's about a foot away from the wall, and the outside of the wall, they are literally hammering and sawing. I'll tell you a little bit more about it later. That's going to be in the live stuff. But it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. We'll get to that later. But it has been affecting a little bit of everything. I did not get as much done this week as I would have, or these last 2 weeks, I'm sorry, as I would have liked to, because life has been explosive. I've been working out of, I refer to them as the in-laws. The other half and I are not married yet. We can't get married as long as I'm living in this apartment because of the way the lease works. But I refer to them as the in-laws, and I've been working out of their house, so there's the additional time away from here, driving back and forth, and blah, 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 blah. It's a whole thing. But I did get quite a bit done on a couple of pieces, and we're going to start off, because we might as well, with the, sorry about the camera wiggle, with the Christmas in July. I was going to show you a finish, but I left it. I'm sure you can hear that. That's the hammering right there. But I left it at the in-laws because, of course, I did, because not everything is together ever. Poof. But I did finish the headless horse-drawn carriage as one of the ornaments, and I started the creepy crawly gazebo, which I will show you. I'll either put up a short or I'll put it on Instagram. My Instagram account is at skuldsbane because I'm skuldsbane everywhere. So you can look for it there as well. But I did also get a lot of work done on the Great White Christmas. I'm dreaming of a great white Christmas. When we saw this 2 weeks ago, it was just the shark's head, just the bottom part of the jaw coming up, right? I have gotten quite a bit done. Look at that. You can actually see the little boat or one of the boats taking shape. You can see, let me fold this. You can see one of the snowflakes. Whoop. So we do have the snowflake over here, and there's the boat taking shape, and obviously, Jaws, the star of the show. This is being done on, where did I put my notes? There's my notes, all the way over there. But this is by Boomerang Stitches, a Great White Christmas by Boomerang Stitches. It is being done on 40 count Newcastle linen by Forbidden Fiber Co. This was one of those that came in the box that I got, or the set that I got. It was just random, leftover miscuts, things that people didn't purchase, whatever. It's being stitched with Gentle Art Roasted Marshmallow, done 1/2. And it is part of the hashtag Santa Jaws Stitch Along, Santa Jaws SAL. So there's a bunch of people actually doing this pattern, and I love it. I've been sharing progress with the man thing, the other half, and because he's the Jaws person, he's the shark person. He's the one, I sent him a photo of the pattern, and he's like, you're buying that. You're just buying that. I'm not asking questions. You're buying this. I'm not going to argue with that. Of course I'm not. Okay. So, and that's how I ended up with that one. Um, his mom saw it as well, and she started laughing so hard. It's just amazing, amazing. Um, the next thing that I did that I worked on was Pavane for These Times by Long Dog Samplers. That is this one. I'm used to putting everything over here. Here we go. But that's Long Dog Samplers Pavane for These Times. This is being done on a 38 count eider-down legacy linen by Access Commodities. And all of the stitching is being done with just a variegated Coats and Clarks quilting thread. It's being done 1/2. I had it pinned together the wrong way, so I couldn't, show you anything. Because I am terrible and just stuck my needle in it. This is where I am at. When we saw it last time, we had this part done and a little bit coming up here, but that was it. So this actually got quite a bit of work as well. And as I said, it's just the Coats and Clarks focus, the Coats and Clarks quilting thread, and it's done. I love the colors. It's very, very 70s, early 80s with all of the like burnt orange and the brown, and it's just perfect, I think, for the pattern. There is that. And there's going to be plenty of extra space left around this. This is, I'm on, I believe, the second page of the pattern going up. Plenty of room on this, which I thought I was going to run out because I am terrible at math. I'm a historian. I'm not a mathematician. Do not ask me to measure. Do not ask me in math. It will not end well. So I'm glad I'm glad that is working out well. Oh, I've also been, and this was mentioned by Laura Stitching by the Shore, who is excited. I'm excited that she's going to go ahead and do the stitch along, and there are a couple of other people who are joining in with the stitch alongs with this. And I was working on the sampler Mary Poppins by Lena Ova. It's going to be popped up here as usual. Last time, I'm not going to unfold it because this is as far as I've gotten. I mean, that's what I've got right now. This is being done on Pistachio 16 count Ada by Fiber on a Whim. And it's just DMC 939 2/1. And again, Laura Stitching by the Shore is getting a stitch along or a start along going with Lena Ova patterns. And this was because we are all enablers on Flosstube. This was actually one of the inspiration pieces, and that is just so incredibly flattering. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. But you can see I went from, we had just this part done, like over to about here. And I went out and I extended the border here and kind of down the side. And you can see the beginning of Bert as the chimney sweep flying. So that's what we've got there. And I do know, I saw on Instagram that Laura had been tagged in one that somebody else had started, was tagged by Crow Stitcher. And Crow Stitcher is starting Dracula. And it's done in what looks like, I'm a little bit colorblind, so it's difficult for me to see, but it looks like it was black on a red mottled fabric. Gorgeous, by the way, gorgeous. The start is like this big in the corner, but absolutely gorgeous. And I had to get in on this because I was going to pick up Dracula anyway. And I'd actually commented on one of Laura's Flosstubes asking if we could, can we do like set the start date? Can we do any Lena Ova? What are we doing here? Give me details, man. I want to go. I want to go for this. And I went ahead and picked up Dracula, which is going to pop up over here. Because number one, it was on my list because it's Dracula. And number two, if we're going to do a start along or a stitch along, this is absolutely what I'm going to do. 100%. Now, see, I wasn't sure though what I was going to do it on. I was kind of planning and going on Etsy because Etsy is my jam. And I found what I thought was the perfect floss for Dracula. And it's done, the batches are done in 20 skein sets by this dyer. And I picked up 10 skeins because that's what I'll need according to the pattern. That's what I'll need. And this is Hocus Pocus by Night Stalker's Calling. It's a black and red. It's got a little bit of orange and some white in there, and it's variegated. I went ahead and pulled some lengths and cut some lengths. And then I needed, of course, you need to find the right fabric for anything. And by the way, this is actually really good. I've never used it before, but just by doing a quick rinse and handling it, it feels like it's really high quality. There really wasn't a lot of dye that came out of it or anything like that. So that's perfect. That's what I like. But I got this, and the plan had been to do either red on black or black on red. But then I saw this, and this was just perfect. So I know I had to get a different fabric. And see, I had already ordered this fabric, but I had gotten it for something completely different. You can see the shinies in there. I can see the shinies in there. I finally got my lighting figured out. This is Olympia. It's an Opal Lugana 32 count by Mystic Fabrics. Whoever it was who turned me on to that, by the way, I forgot who you are. Please comment below so I can thank you properly. Whoever turned me on to Mystic Fabrics and said to go ahead and try them out, you were absolutely correct. Look at this. Look at how gorgeous this is. It is amazing. And I had gotten this to do the Jardin Privé seasonal samplers. I was going to do all 4 of them as one big continuous piece on this fabric. And then the fabric came in and I decided, no, that's not what that's going to be used for. This is going to be perfect for Dracula. And I decided that when this came in, and then these came in, and I pulled this loose to do a basic floss toss and just throw it on there, and look at that. Look at that. It's going to be amazing. So this is going to be one of my starts. I just need to know what the hashtag is going to be so that I can get it going. And if there's a specific date that we're going to start it, I'm calling you out, Laura. If you don't decide, I will, because I have ADHD and no self-control when it comes to these things, and I will 1,000,000% take over. I'll make it my own. You've been warned. I know, it's very threatening, very threatening. I know. But that's what I got this for. And this is, like I said, whoever turned me on to Mystic Fabrics, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is one of the highest quality fabrics that I've gotten so far. But it's also the first piece of opal I've gotten, and it's the first Lugana I've ever gotten. So there's a lot of firsts going into this here. I'm excited. I'm excited. So stupidly excited. As silly as that is. But yeah, the Crow Stitcher, like I said, and it's at Crow Stitcher on Instagram. I'm pretty sure Crow Stitcher also has Flosstube. Have not found them yet because I haven't looked. Can't lie. I've been a little distracted by everything else going on. but definitely going to look and see if they have. They are also one of the people behind the Halloween is a Lifestyle. Halloween is a Lifestyle stitch along. Hashtag Halloween is a Lifetime Sal, which is just an ongoing. If it's creepy, if it's Halloweeny, absolutely. If it's goth, if it's any of that, if it falls into a Halloween-esque category in any way, shape, or form, it goes in the hashtag. And they're absolutely amazing about finding and actually responding to the stuff in the hashtag and tagging people and stuff. It's great. Absolutely wonderful. Um, Another thing that I have planned, but it's not going to be a start for a while because I don't have the floss. And with everything going on, I'm a little bit low on funds, so I'm not going to be getting it kitted up anytime soon because I just spent all my money on this. That's all my play money for a couple of months. So that's kind of what you're going to expect to see is a lot of works in progress and that start coming up. But while trolling Etsy, I found a shop. It's Black Dahlia Fabrics because, creepy crawlies and cryptids and that's kind of what I do. It's my jam, obviously. And I saw this fabric, and I have a Discord server from when I was doing Twitch, which I may start up again. I don't know yet. But I saw this fabric. I was not impressed by the fabric itself, but I went on my Discord server, and all my enablers that are my bestest friends ever, I got on there and I told them, y'all, I found this fabric. It's named unicorn poop. And I think I need unicorn poop in my life, but it's hot pink and purple. It's nothing that I would ever normally get, and I'm not sure I should get it. And of course, every last one of them, being the enablers we all are, they were like, no, you absolutely need unicorn poop in your life. And the other half, the man thing, he was sitting over there and he's like, what is all this about unicorn poop? I said, I don't know if I want to get unicorn poop. And he said, yes, you do. You know why you want to get unicorn poop? He said, and he told me, and he's absolutely correct. He knows me well. He told me that I wanted to get unicorn poop only for the reason, if the only reason was so that I could say unicorn poop 100 times on Flosstube, and he was absolutely not wrong. But we had to find the perfect pattern to go on it. Um, and just to show you what it is, and again, this is unicorn poop. It is part of the Cryptic Cloths line. It's a 14 count by Black Dahlia Fabrics. This is one of the most obnoxious things that I own at this point. It is much more hot pink than blue, so it's much more hot pink than what you're seeing here. But it's freaking perfect. Here, let me turn. I think the other side has more pink on it. Yes, the other side has more pink on it. It is amazing. It is completely obnoxious, and I love it. If only because it's called unicorn poop. But also, we had to find, like I said, the perfect pattern to go on it. And so all of my Discord friends, my pocket friends, and I decided that it had to be something either very traditional or very serious or something that just normally would not be paired, I guess would be the best word. Something that would not be paired with something called unicorn poop. And because I had this pattern here on my Etsy registry for a couple of months now, we decided that it would be the perfect thing to put the Bride of Frankenstein and marry the Bride of Frankenstein with unicorn poop. Um, and of course, the rest of the fabrics and everything else that is available by Black Dahlia, just as strangely named. There's one on there that is literally called Husband Dyed It. Obviously, the husband dyed it. It's self-evident. It's right there in the name. It's amazing. It's just mind-blowing to me how salty and perfect it is. Um, but so this is part of what I got also. Which, by the way, this is all my shopping. Uh, I'm just like zooming through today because no offense, y'all, but I just want to get done because of everything going on outside. I want to get done and I want to get out of the apartment and not be around the noise for a while. It's sad. It's a sad day. And then I was inspired by somebody that I can't remember who it was because why would I remember who it was? Oh my God, self, what are you doing? Who was I watching? Was it Laura? I don't remember. I don't remember. Um, but I went on Stitch is So Beautiful and I saw this and I had to have it because it is 1,000,000% my aesthetic. And it's called The Beauty in the Underworld. The artist is Eder Jose Rosa. The stitch count is a 400 by 270, so it's like, it's gonna be a decent size when I get done with it, or after I start it, or whatever. But look at it, isn't it gorgeous? It's freaking gorgeous. So I'm excited about possibly getting that going. Um, it uses 96 separate DMC colors. Yeah, it's gonna be a big one. That said, that said, if I do either 18 or 22 count, it should fit on a fat quarter, and that's going to be spectacular. If I get, just like the Easy Guide 1820 fat quarter, should be able to put it on there with no problems whatsoever. I love the pre-marked stuff. Saves me so much having to do it myself, and I'm lazy. But I'm only lazy because I'm working smart. So there's that. I also got, because, you know, Etsy registry, talking about that, my friend Elisa bought me this, which is Cemetery by Pandora X Stitch. That's been on my list for a hot minute. And she went ahead and bought that for me. And also, Jane has not arrived yet. I'm sorry, Elisa. I'll put up a short when she gets here. She just hasn't arrived yet. Jane is a skull-shaped yarn bowl. And it's sparkly glow in the dark, some random color. I know choosing the color on the sparkly glow in the dark, but sparkly glow in the dark skull-shaped yarn bowl named Jane after Lady Jane Grey, because if you're going to lose your head, somebody else is going to find it. I'm not sorry. I would say I'm sorry, but anybody who's talked to me for more than 30 seconds knows I'm absolutely not sorry at all. No, no. Um, but it's by King's Creations USA. I'm expecting that today. It's supposed to be arriving today, and the mail just hasn't gotten here yet. I'm sorry. All right, which leads us to hellos and thank yous and people I've been watching. Periwinkle Stitcher, thank you so much for mentioning me. Um, I do want to say I was watching your latest video and you had the little bear pin cushion that you had pulled out and were showing people. And me being the person that I am, and again, not sorry whatsoever. The first thing I thought of was that would be an amazing little voodoo doll. Like very pop culture voodoo, not actual religion voodoo, but like very pop culture voodoo doll. That would be amazing. Not gonna do it, but that was the first thing that went through my head after seeing that. Uh, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Laura, Stitching by the Shore, thank you again. Bless you. My sweet friend. You're my friend now. I've claimed you, by the way. That's a thing that happened. I didn't know if you know this, but you do now if you're watching. You're my friend now. And let's see, the New England Stitcher also. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you. You were actually the first person, the first video that I watched that did a shout out for me this week. So thank you. You're amazing, and your daughter is amazing, and the two of you just vibe so well together. It's great. That was perfect watching that video. Um, and also the Owl Stitcher. I had never watched any of your floss tubes, and I am so sorry that I had never watched them before. That stained glass. Where did you find that pattern? I've been wanting to do a stained glass pattern for a while, and that is just the most mind-blowing thing I have seen in a long time. Holy crow. My dude, that's amazing. And thank you. Thank you for the shout out also. Um, as far as other people that I have been watching, Helen D is on that list. Jenny Crafts and Reads. If she posts, I'm gonna watch it. I absolutely love her stuff. And I've got my notes. This is my last 2 weeks of notes, y'all. There's a lot. There's a lot. I almost had to go to another page. Let's see, who else do we have? The Camping Stitcher. Saw you. Stitching Big Things with Hallie. Watched her for the first time. Totally chill. Really good stuff. Pieced Pineapple Studio. Brand new to Flosstube. Um, and I do want to say, specifically to you, if you're watching, you've got this. As somebody who has multiple chronic conditions and has to live with a lot, I went through huge lifestyle changes about 10, 12 years ago. I was in a car accident that caused a major flare that has not stopped flaring in literally 12 years, literally since the day of that accident. And it went from, I used to be a medical massage therapist, and I specialized in working on people who had been in car accidents because, that's Murphy. Murphy said, his law said that if I was going to be helping to heal people that had been in car accidents, I was going to get hurt in a car accident, and there it was, uh, evidently. But I went from doing that, being very physically active and being able to do like going out and going on hikes and to getting multiple diagnoses. And at this point, it's almost but not quite a requirement that I work from home because I'm physically not able to. It's the same type of thing. Same type of thing. So I'm there. I can empathize with you, and if you ever need somebody to say hello to, I'm here. I'm available. But also everybody, she does amazing, amazing work. Amazing. And also has the ADHD from not armchair diagnosis, 100% armchair diagnosis, but based on personal experience versus it's there, it exists. Also does long arm quilting, which I may or may not. because I like quilting by hand. Maybe getting in contact with you at some point. Um, and then, of course, Lala D, who it's Lala D and the Running Stitcher and Salix Stitches, S. Alex Stitches on Instagram. They're starting on the 1st a lighthouse stitch along, any lighthouse. And I don't know what the hashtag is because I'm not going to participate because I don't have any lighthouse patterns right now. Womp womp. Um, but that's a whole thing. Those are the people that I've been watching. They will be mentioned down below. All of the shops and items and patterns and hashtags and that's all going to be down below as well. So, um, I also had by request a couple of things that are not cross stitch because a couple of people, oh, well, specifically Elisa, hi, I see you there, um, had asked that I go ahead and share some of the things that are not cross stitch that I've been doing. So I've got one project just because it's sitting right here. My quilt is over there in a hoop, and I don't want to show my butt getting up and going to get it because I've been at the in-laws for like 3 weeks and I'm behind in the laundry, and so I'm like wearing sports shorts, and no, that's not happening. Um, Also because of other things that we'll get into life stuff that have to do with things like standing up. But one of the things, and I had talked about this very, very briefly previously. Pausing for station identification and to regain balance. Awesome. Um, I had talked about doing, I remember talking about doing a scrap Afghan or scrap blanket. And I'm doing this in crochet. This is my size. What heckin' size is this? Heckin' I. Size I hook. And it's all scraps of yarn left over from previous projects. And I have all these like little bitty little bitty yarn balls left over from various projects. And I just reach into a bin, grab a yarn ball, and attach it and go. And so far, and this is going to end up being sized for a queen size bed because that's what we have. It is ugly, and I love every bit of it. Look at that. The vast majority of this is all the same-ish weight. There's a couple of DKs in there, but this is mostly not sock weight the other direction, sport weight. Mostly sport weight, and it's just awful, and I love it. There's no rhyme or reason. Like I said, it's literally reach in, grab the next color, and go. And that's where it's at so far. Oh, I also have this. There is, uh, if I can find a photo of the pattern, I'll put it up here. Um, I've been working on a knitted project off and on. It's not going to show well because it's lace and it will need blocked, but this is what I have so far. You can't really see it, again, because it's lace. It's also dark and I don't really have a light background. But to give you an idea of the weight of the yarn being used, I could literally put this on a needle and sew with it. I believe the size needle I'm using is a 000. I don't think it's even printed on there because they're so small. It is a 000. It is printed on there. Yeah, buddy. So this is another one of the things that I just have kind of sitting around that I've been working on. I've also been doing project bags because now I've got more projects for the cross stitch that, they need a place to live. So that's a thing that's been happening. Evidently it's 5 o'clock. Uh, okay. For life stuff, I am actually going to switch from the headset to the camera just for a very, very short time, maybe 5 or 10 seconds, so that you can hear what has been going on in my life. That's without the saws and without the heavy machinery. That's just hammering right now. It has been worse. I can throw up a couple of pictures. I can, like, right here. This is where I live right now. And I'm not going to go too in depth, but this is what's happening. This is because there's been mold growing in the walls of the apartment complex, and they're trying to fix that. But this has been my life for, like, I don't know, 3 weeks now. I actually spoke to one of the maintenance people, and he said that they completed his apartment, the work on his apartment, and it took them about 6 months. It's also hurricane season, and I'm in Florida. I also have, going into some of the spoony things. Um, I'm a spoonie, y'all. Or the chronic illness related things. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Um, we believe, but I have not been diagnosed with, or we believe that I have, but I have not fully been diagnosed with POTS, the postural orthotachycardia syndrome, where, like, now there's a saw going, um, which is a thing where if you stand up too quickly, or if you raise your hands over your head, your blood pressure drops, and it causes you to pass out and, like, fall over. And it's not a happy thing. Um, it's kind of mostly ish under control. In the Ehlers-Danlos, there's no such thing as controlling it. It just is. Um, and then just prior to COVID hitting and the world shutting down, I was actually in the process of trying to get a mast cell activation syndrome diagnosis, which is big honkin' allergies that don't act like regular allergies. Um, Instead of having an immediate attack, which can happen, absolutely can happen, and have the immediate reaction and go into anaphylaxis and blah, 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 blah. Instead of that, it's more typical for somebody with mast cell activation syndrome, or MCAS, to have it all build up slowly in the system, and then just out of nowhere, it'll hit you sideways like a Mack truck and just boom and knock you flat. Hospitalizations, possible death, all the good stuff. Uh, because we don't have outer walls right now, and the fact that there's been mold growing in the walls, and that's been released into the air, into my living situation, this is my apartment, this is where I live, and the fact that the water from the air conditioner was not draining out, and we're on the bottom floor, or I'm on the bottom floor, so all the drainage from upstairs has also been coming down and has been filling the drip pan of my air conditioner. So we've been having to use a shop vac to clean the water out every, like, 45 minutes, which they finally got fixed. They finally got that fixed. And I finally saw the maintenance guy today. He's like, I was here. I was here. I fixed it on Monday. I came back yesterday. And I'm glad I ran into you today. Just want to make sure everything's fine. Everything's fixed. I'm like, yes, it's finally fixed. Um, but that didn't help anything either. So the last couple of days at work, I've actually had to miss almost a full day of work this week because all of that started building up. And I started having massive allergy attacks. And I went to the doctor yesterday, and it's actually built up in my system enough that his diagnosis, not my regular doctor, but one of the other doctors in the practice, his diagnosis is that I have severe vertigo on top of everything else. Uh, so I have to start medications and physical therapy for vertigo. And I'm also supposed to go get blood work done so that once that comes back positive for all the allergen things that they look for in the blood, that I can start going back to an allergist and start having all the tests done. Different allergist that I was going to before. It was funny though, when I went and had those tests done in 2019, we did all the skin scratch and pricks and everything. I am allergic to literally everything that grows in Florida, everything alive in Florida, except for people. And the only reason that I didn't test positive for being allergic to people is because they don't test for it. And both the allergist and I are pretty sure that that's very true. So it's my life. um, yeah, yeah. So that's what's been going on in my world. And I've been trying rather desperately to either get a better job or to move up in the company that I'm at so that I can work towards getting out of this environment. If anybody's interested, I am not going to pressure anybody. None. No pressure. This is like I am daydreaming and I know this. But I do have a GoFundMe. There's going to be a link below. No pressure. Again, zero. None. Does not exist. Um, I mean, honestly, the fact that I've jumped to over 350 followers is just mind blowing to me. If I can get to that 500 and start paying for my own hobbies, or even a small portion of my own hobbies, that's going to help immensely. So, everybody who has followed, y'all are amazing. I love you. I really do. um, yeah, yeah. So, that's kind of my life right now. What else do I have? I don't know. I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Uh, I may treat myself to a fancy coffee. I may go get a latte or something. Get some avocado toast to go with it. Spend all my money on avocado toast and fancy coffee. Or at least, like $5. And that's going to be my excitement for the day. So, yeah, that's about it. Thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. You have no idea how much. This is like being able to find this community and to participate in things and to be able to talk to people and watch people and make new friends. This is like walking to me this is like walking up to somebody in like second grade and going, I like unicorns too, do you want to be my friend? And then we're friends forever. It has been life changing over the past month because reaching out like this and being able to connect like this with people who have similar interests helps with the isolation of working from home and the isolation of not being able to go out and do a whole lot. So, yeah, thank you all very much. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope your today is better than your yesterday, and your tomorrow will be better than today. Thank you so much.